about a DX land, DX land, DX land, DX land. Unit 138 in the Carolinas. Unit 138 in the Carolinas. Waving my hand. Break, break. How about a DX land, DX land, DX land. 138 in the Carolinas. Unit 138 in the Carolinas. Waving my hand. Break, break. How about a 413, 413, 413, 138 in the Carolinas, waving my hand, break, break. Just barely heard you, 413, 413, bring it back again, 413, 138 in the Carolinas. How about a DX land, DX land, DX land, 138 in the Carolinas, 138 in the Carolinas, waving my hand, break, break. How about a DX land, DX land, DX land, 138 in the Carolinas, 138 in the Carolinas, waving my hand, break, break. How about a JR? How about that 416, 416, 138 in the Carolinas, waving my hand, break. Hola, 138 in the South Carolina, 138 in South Carolina, 138, break, break. try it one more again. I'm gonna try it one more again. 138 in the South, in the Carolinas, waving my hand. 138 in South Carolina, waving my hand. Break, break.
Hey, Big Skiller, let me swing the house and break.
Double B in California. Double B in California. 138 in the Carolinas, waving my hand. Break, break.
Turn this power up. Number 97 West Indies. Number 97 West Indies. 138 in the Carolinas, waving my hand. Break, break.
Hey man, but I was in your town last week. I went to A1 Auto and I saw your homeboy with a ball cap on that brake. Right there, get Free W. You all in that red, you all in that red. Take care, Free W. 97 West Indies. I'll see ya.
97 West Indies. 97 West Indies. 138 in the Carolinas. Break, break.
Yeah, right. I went in there on Friday. He had his head backwards. Man, on 4 inches, head on backwards. I went back in that Monday. He was looking forward with the ball cap, that brake. Double B.
97 West Indies. 97 West Indies. 138 in the Carolinas. Break, break.
Hey, Skillet, your homeboy on 4 inches tried to hook me up with a great big old woman. Oh, Skillet, 766 left and right back. California, Double B in the blue water, wait.
There goes 97 West Indies. All right, so this CB radio thing.
Transmitter got down. Number 97 across the blue waters. I'll see you.
How about it? 9-7. 9-7 in the West Indies, 138 in the Carolinas, waving my hand. Break, break.
And that's my road. The 3-3. I'm out.
Hey, 747 in California, do you need me to cut this film or throw in the pump to the radio? Hey, 747 in California, Double B said, do you need me to go to the pump? 747 in California, Double B in the Barbados, bring up.
Okay, things are kind of interesting. Now, on this CB radio, a lot of people are using a lot of extra power. I'm using just the power that's coming out of the back of the radio, 4 watts. And really, it's no match to the amount of power that these guys are putting out. So say, for instance, I'm only putting out 4 watts, and they're maybe putting out a good 500 watts or 700 watts of power, which means their signal, when I'm receiving their signal, I'm getting it way over here. When they're hearing me, I'm way down here. I'm much, much lower. So between all the noise, and the other stations that they may be hearing from their end, I'm really just, I'm down in the static pretty much.
Excuse me, boy. Hello, 43, what's up? Wait. I ain't gonna watch it here, 43, just had a little 250 beat. Hey, 43, I'm gonna watch it here. I'm just cooking.
Warrior, baby driver, skillet. Oh, baby driver, you scared the hell out of me, man. Oh, baby driver, tell lady 214, all my friends around Big Tom Muller, I say, what's up there, break.
Right on. My friend, 43, the Bahamas, Double B on the driver, bye-bye.
Now that guy right there with the signal that's coming all the way over to the 9, he's putting out a lot of power. You can tell it by the way his voice sounds. He's putting out a lot of power. And every time he talks, the power swings up even higher. And there are sometimes in the power level, the signal will get really far over here, just completely peg it out completely. They're using a lot of power. I'm not using a lot of power, so chances are they don't hear me. So,
You just come and say, hey, I'm looking at skillet, man, but you're up there, Big Tom Muller, baby driver, 766 on the mail, got down.
Hello, 766, Double B. 766, Double B. Hello, 766 in California, 766.
Eddie Sanchez, can you see 9-7 across the water? Forty, baby driver, we'll tell Skillet he's on his driver. Trying, man. Baby driver, Big Tom Muller. Yeah, tell old Johnny and the boys what's up. I'll see you.
and see, it's pretty much been this way since I was a kid on CB radio. It used to be even more active than this. There are people still out there. It's sort of few and far between, and there are still a lot of guys that are operating their station. And, it's not quite as popular as it used to be, but when the conditions are just right, we're coming to a height of a sunspot cycle, and you can hear stations like this pretty far away. So if you get back into CB radio now, you're going to hear this type of stuff.
You must be on that great big old box. Oh, 205.
So this antenna that I'm using, I built this antenna just today. It's a dipole antenna. If you want to know what a dipole antenna is, look it up here on YouTube and you can figure out what it is. Dipole antenna. I got it supported with a one of those wires that you use for electric fences. The cable is supported with that, and I'm using a thinner wire, which is like a cable, but it's very thin, on the inner part of the coax and the outer shield of the coax. It's 2 different wires split in 2 different directions. I scraped the wire down with a knife before I twisted them together. I didn't do any soldering because I can't find my soldering iron, and I just strung it up. And once you learn how to do that kind of stuff between 2 trees, and basically I'm sitting in the car, I got the cable coming in. You probably can't see it right here, but anyway, yeah, I couldn't find my mobile antenna. I found part of it. I couldn't find the rest of it. So I just made an antenna real fast. And it's a dipole antenna. It's on a horizontal plane. It's not vertical. And that could be a reason why they're not hearing me too well. I would have a stronger signal anyway if I were using vertical. My polarity is horizontal right now, so it's quite different. If my polarity was vertical like most other people that are using here on CB radio, I would be receiving them and they would be receiving me a whole lot stronger than this. You think this is strong? If I switch to vertical, use the vertical antenna with a little bit more height, I would be getting a 30 plus, and they would probably hear what I'm saying, because I'm using the same polarity, but right now I'm using opposite polarity. So that's it. For all of you out there, that's some of the people that I pretty much associate with here on YouTube. We talked about, building stuff. There's a guy here on YouTube that's encouraging us to build stuff. Building a CB antenna is really simple, gets you into talking on the radio. Talking on the radio is a little something different than the internet. This was around before the internet. I was on it before the internet. Before the internet, radios were digital just like this. This is a newer version. You can buy this at any truck stop. But radios were digital for a long time, even before the internet came out. I'm talking like back in almost the very end of the late 80s to the 1990. Something like that. That's when they switched over to digital. I mean digital as far as display like this, computer controlled. This is it. Oh, and by the way, this radio transmits in AM. It transmits in upper sideband. Where's my finger? Transmits in upper sideband right there and lower sideband. I don't want to go through a whole bunch. I'm already at 17 minutes right now, so if you want to figure out what that means, you can figure it out. You want to hear what it sounds like? All right, these are the single sideband channels. I'm gonna switch it to single sideband and let you hear what it sounds like. It's very interesting.
California, 184 California, 138, 1 Charlie 38, South Carolina.
Just wait a second. I may get a contact.
That California station, try it again. You're fading in and out a little bit. California station, try it again. 138, South Carolina.
I just missed him. You may be talking to someone else. 181. I'll see if I can get this.
Thank you, Johnny, for the flowers there. Have a good evening. 181 California.
181 California, 138 South Carolina. Okay, California, I think you said my numbers. I'm not quite sure. I heard you say South Carolina. This is 138 South Carolina. How's the weather over there in California? How's the weather?
Okay, he's talking to someone else here in South Carolina.
.181 California, 181 California, 138 South Carolina. CQ, CQDX, CQ, CQDX, 138 South Carolina, 138 South Carolina calling CQ.
Now he said 357. You can't mistake that for 138. Can't mistake 138 for 357. He's talking to someone else.
CQ, CQDX, CQ, CQDX, 138 South Carolina calling CQ. CQ, CQDX, CQ, CQDX, 138 South Carolina calling CQ.
All right, I'm already at 21 minutes. This is going to take forever to upload. So that's single sideband. You kind of speak a little differently than you do on AM. There's different types of people on single sideband. Sometimes you hear foreign people from maybe out of the country on single sideband. This is the cool thing about it. The range is a little bit further on single sideband, whether it's upper sideband or lower sideband. AM is pretty much stateside. Sometimes you can get people from out of the country. It's very rare. But a lot of times when people want to speak from out of the country or whatever, they get on single sideband. I have once heard Africa on here one time. That was many years ago, like back in the 80s. I heard an African station come in. A lot of times, very rarely you hear a UK station come in, or that's about it. That's about as far as I've heard Australia one time. Very, very long time ago. Australia. And that's extremely rare. Extremely rare. But look at the signals coming up a little bit. All right, like I said, I'm already pretty far into this video. I just wanted to give some of the people out there, especially the younger people that have no idea what CB radio is. This is what we did before the internet. This right here is what we did before the internet to talk to people. And it's still available. It's still alive and it's working. The sunspot cycle is coming up this year. It's getting better, and you're going to be able to hear, you know, people from all over the country or from out of the country talk, and you're going to be able to talk to them. You have a better chance using an amplifier, which, you know, if you do some research, you can find out how to get one and how to tune it up and everything like that. This one does not have an amplifier. It's just simply 8 watts out of the back on single sideband. When I switch it over to AM, it's only 4 watts out of the back. Maybe it's 12 on single sideband. Depends on the type of radio it is. I'm not sure if this does 12 watts or if it does 10 watts or if it's just double the power, 8 watts. But usually on AM, it's 4 watts, single sideband, double. Sometimes they're a little more. Can you tweak it? Yeah, but I wouldn't recommend it. It's just better buying an amplifier for it. They make amplifiers for the car and for the house. All that stuff's on the internet. But like I said, back in the day, these guys were on here. I was on here when I was a kid, talked on the CB radio, got my first digital radio, like it was in 1990, 93, 92. Yeah, 92 or 93, I got my first digital display CB radio. I think it was one of those 2 years. Not this one. This is a different one. As a matter of fact, I got it. And I'm going to show it to you. I still got it. All the way from way back then after I graduated. It's called an RCI 2950. This is a digital display radio. All the way from back in the day. And Love talking on this thing. I loved it. And I still got it to this day. It's not plugged in right now. And the microphone, this microphone for the other radio, it'll work with this one. RCI 2950. See that right there? Come on, focus. RCI 2950. This is a legendary mobile radio right here. RCI 2950. Anyway, so it's a little bit of history there. And CB radio is a cool thing to get into. I'm going to cut it short here. Because, hey, you know, if ish hits the fan, y'all better have one of these so we can communicate if cell phones are out. You know, it's just a thought. Family radio service, those little walkie-talkies only transmit but so far. CB radio transmits much, much further. Thanks for watching. James Gray is Writer. James Gray is Writer. What's up, what's up?